San Jose Live with Juan Chavez.
Hi, and welcome to San Jose Live. This show is about sharing local views on top stories. My name is Juan Chavez, and I will be your host. Today, I would like to welcome two of my guests, Jorge Valdez and Pamela Nava.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. I'm a student at NHU. I'm studying for liberal studies, and we currently started a show called The Dish.
And I'm Jorge Valdez, and I work at San Jose Airport, and I also participate in The Dish. You can find us on my viewing lens. And we just briefly go around just trying out different places to eat and just having people find new places to go.
Around here, when they have nothing to do.
Great. So more or less what we want to do in this show is just more or less talk about different top stories that are occurring anywhere. And so one of the big stories right now in San Jose is actually the increasingly spike on gang violence. And so I kind of wanted to get more or less your opinion on gang violence in San Jose, especially being that most of us grew up here in San Jose, so we know more or less firsthand what exactly gang violence is doing today. So I'm going to get you guys to elaborate on that, please.
Yeah, there's certainly an increase now. There is a report on the news that I saw about there's actually more violence and more incidents during the summer, which is it does make sense on account that kids have nothing to do. And they have events downtown, music in the park, and recently I have heard about more things going on. I guess someone got stabbed 2 weeks ago, and before that there was fights going on, so it is like a growing problem locally, I guess.
What about you, George?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that violence is everywhere, and not to say more in the summer, but I guess you can say that, people don't have things to do, so they're out there more and just having a good time. They don't have to wake up and do anything. So I think that it's out there, and it's always going to be out there.
So here's a question. Do you believe that there's more violence today than, let's say, maybe 20 years ago amongst the youth?
Well, I can't really answer that question because 20 years ago I was a baby, but
I think so. I think it's the same amount because things do change. Like, society does have some changes, but people, in a sense, are just growing up. They go through phases. So I think nowadays it just seems more out there because we have reality shows and those kind of things, and people just have more access to looking at other people's lives and whatever they're up to. But I don't think there's necessarily any more or any less violence. It's just promoted more, and it's on TV and stuff.
Do you think that if there's more profiling amongst the San Jose Police Department and amongst different gang units that exist to prevent gangs, do you think in a way that is targeting minorities?
I don't think necessarily. I mean, sadly, stereotypes exist for a reason. If a person looks a certain way, it's probably more likely that, for example, if you see someone that's tattooed and they're wearing a wife beater and stuff, they're probably not up to any good. But I know that it's not nice to stereotype, but just to be on the safe side, I don't think that would be a bad thing, to keep an eye out for those people that look like they're up to no good. If it helps even a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's just a stereotypical thing to say, but it does, in a way, just kind of show you, and someone to think that that they are that they're like that. I mean, in a way, it's a bad thing, but it's out there, and that's how people think, and
So, thank you. So how do you think this we can resolve this issue of gang violence in San Jose?
Probably just start in the community. I think if people have something to do and they feel like they're doing something good and they see the benefits of it, like it be local, so they would be reaping the benefits, I guess, then they have an incentive to basically make their behavior a little better and definitely try and use their energy for something positive that's not only going to be for them but for the whole community.
Yeah, and I think that if we give them something to remove tattoos if they want to change and go a different way and move away from what they came from or what they were living like, then I think that also would give them a step to for better themselves or to differ themselves, and I think that way would be a one step to change their ways, I think.
Or we could start by stop cutting budgets, and giving kids the misdirections that if you go to school, you do well, but yet when we start budget cutting, that's the first department that gets cut. So thank you for. Whether we're talking about gangs here in San Jose or gangs anywhere in the United States, the bottom line is that the United States needs to take a proactive approach instead of reactive approach, so we can fix the broken system that we have, so that we're not wasting so many of our talented youth. And so this will conclude our first segment, and so now we will move on to our second segment based on homosexuality marriage.